Hello, wonderful 7th graders, and welcome to Lesson 2, which is on sonnets. Today's lesson deals with the essential question, how does poetry reveal emotions? You're working with 2 anchors today for mastery, which is demonstrating an understanding of key ideas and details in literature, and demonstrating an understanding of craft and structure in literature. Your goals for today are to understand the characteristics of a sonnet, and there are quite a few that we will walk through. And then for homework tonight, I want you to apply this to show me that you understand a sonnet, you understand the craft and structure of a sonnet, and you can identify what goes on in a sonnet. And why we're doing this is it's kind of a snippet into the language that we're going to be working with as we explore Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare wrote in this type of format for much of his poem. There are sonnets strewn throughout Romeo and Juliet, but it's also an opportunity for you guys to become more familiar with the language and the rhythm and some of the stuff that you'll see as we explore Romeo and Juliet. Okay? History of the sonnet. Although he's probably most famous for his plays, William Shakespeare also wrote a lot of poetry, and these are named sonnets. The form of the sonnet he wrote is sometimes even called the Shakespearean sonnet. It was called Shakespearean in England, and over in Italy it's called the Petrarchian sonnet. But however, this is the Shakespearean sonnet. They don't have titles, they're just numbered. He never gave any of his sonnets formal titles, just numbers. And he didn't invent the sonnet. It first gained popularity during the Italian Renaissance with a poet named Petrarch, who used the form to write love letters to a woman that he loved. During Shakespeare's time, sonnets were always about love and romance. And today, lots of poets still enjoy writing in sonnet format only because it has a specific format and specific rhythm and a specific rhyme scheme that we'll go into right now. So they're fun to write, actually. What is a sonnet? A sonnet is a 14-line poem, and these 14 lines are divided into 3 quatrains and a couplet. A quatrain is a 4-line stanza. Okay, think of a quadrilateral in math, or you write on your quad, which has 4 wheels. So think of a 4, it's divided into 3 quatrains, so 3 groups of 4, and then a rhyming couplet at the end, and think of the word couple. Couple is 2. So a couplet at the end. So it's 4 groups of 3, or 3 groups of 4, and then 2 at the end, equaling a total of 14 lines. A sonnet follows a particular rhyme scheme, and a rhyme scheme is matching the pattern of rhyme at the end of each line. And a sonnet also has a rhythm. If you guys like music, or you like to dance, or you like to get involved in like some hip-hop or fun, think of rhythm and think of the beats as you clap. And a sonnet has a particular beat that we're going to introduce you to. You're going to clap 5 times in each line, and you won't clap 5 times, so the clapping would be called stressed, and then when you don't clap, it's called unstressed. So we'll go through that as well. I want you guys to look at the structure here. So let me introduce first to you quatrains. We talked about quatrains and a couplet. A quatrain is a group of 4 lines. Okay, again, 4 quad. Quatrain is 4, so a group of 4 lines. There's 1, 2, 3 groups of 4 lines. And then at the end of this sonnet, there are 2 lines called a couplet. Note the rhyme in each of these. I highlighted for you the words that rhyme. Sun, dun, red, head, white, delight, cheeks, reeks, no, go, sound, ground, and rare, compare. Notice that the quatrains are divided by their rhyme, purposefully done. So the first line of each quatrain rhymes with the 3rd line, and the 2nd line rhymes with the 4th. So it's just a pattern that repeats from each quatrain until the end. Take a note of that for a second. Pretty intelligent. And then I want you to check out the rhythm of this. I'm going to read this out loud as Shakespeare wanted it. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are done. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. You'll notice that I've clapped 5 times in each line, and I've raised my hands 5 times in each line. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. That is called iambic pentameter. And another math, guys, if you guys are good at math, you're going to love sonnets. Penta means 5. Think of the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., or think of a pentagon in math. Penta means 5. So 5 times you're clapping. So we have a quatrain, a couplet, we've got a pattern of rhyme, and we've got iambic pentameter, which is a pattern of rhythm. This is pretty well done, huh? These are fun to do. So, we talked a little bit about rhyme scheme. We've identified the fact that there's a rhyme scheme. I see that the words rhyme, but what is a rhyme scheme? Some of you may be familiar with this, and some of you may not. So this is a kind of an introduction, and we'll go a little bit deeper into this as we explore poetry. But I just want to give you an idea of what rhyme scheme is. When you plot the rhyme scheme, you're basically saying, hey, there's a pattern of rhyme here. Some poems rhyme, other poems do not rhyme. In our case, when you plot the rhyme scheme, it's showing that there is indeed a pattern of rhyme. You always start, and you do this in alphabetical order. I don't know why we start with the letter A, but we just do. But we always start with A. And any words that rhyme with the first line of each poem also get the A. If the next line doesn't rhyme with that, it takes on the next letter of the alphabet, which would be B, and you would go so on and so forth from A through Z. So any of the words that have the rhyme A would rhyme and B would rhyme. But what I want you to look at, which we've already noticed, is the first and third lines rhyme in each quatrain, and the second and fourth. So the rhyme scheme of a sonnet would be, as noted on the board, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. And all Shakespearean sonnets follow that rhyme scheme. A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. And I want you to think about this tonight as you do your homework. Rhyme scheme is the same. Iambic pentameter is the same. The quatrains and couplets are the same. The only thing that would vary in a Shakespearean sonnet is the message or the writing. And since Shakespearean sonnets are always about love, it's a love message, but the message might differ. How do you read a sonnet? Mrs. D, I don't understand these words. They're old. The language of Shakespeare is exactly what it sounds like. It's old. I know it's old, guys, but it's also really beautiful. Your goal is to read aloud each line and then ask yourself, what do you think this line means? Translate it into more modern English and then put it into your own words. So for example, let's take our sonnet. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Okay? So think of the sun. The sun is bright. My mistress's eyes, my lover's eyes, are not bright. Coral is far more red than her lips red. So the red of coral in the ocean is much redder than her lips, much more red than her lips. So her lips aren't red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If snow is white, well, her breasts are like not white, not at all, pale. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. Her hair is like black wires. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. Her cheeks aren't red. They're not rosy. Does this sound like a love poem to you guys? Is anyone feeling, well, this doesn't sound like very much of a love poem? And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. Her breath stinks. Perfume smells way better than my mistress. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I love to hear her talk, but music is far better than her voice. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. So goddesses are airy and light. My mistress stomps. She's not very graceful. And then the couplet says, and yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. All of these things are my love. However, the couplet says it all, there is no one else compared to her, and I love her so much. She's the best from heaven. So it's a love poem. He doesn't say the nicest things in the beginning, but he says, regardless, she's got all these faults and flaws, but she is the bomb. I love her so much. So that's how we explore a sonnet. I want you guys to think about this as you attack your homework tonight and show master. You've got quatrains and a couplet. You've got a rhythm. You've got a rhyme scheme. And then I need you to understand what's going on within each line. If you can show me that, then you've mastered those two anchors that we talked about, key ideas and details, and craft and structure. and you will get a solid grade, and that grade will reflect your mastery. If you need help, please attend those help sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm here to help you guys. You have 11 o'clock scheduled with me, so if you need help on your homework, show up and we can go through the assignment together and give you help where you need it to show that mastery. Take care, guys, and let me know if you need anything.